Greg, thanks very much. Well, President Bush has been labeling Democrats as defeatists on Iraq long before Senator John Kerry's controversial comment. And you can't get more defeatist than this. The latest Newsweek cover throwing it right out there, claiming we're losing the war in Iraq, saying winning is no longer an option. Well, my next guest says all this negativity is going to backfire on Democrats a week from now. She's Mary Catherine Ham, conservative columnist with townhall.com, but Democratic strategist Margie Omero disagrees. Mary, first to you, what's the political fallout of this and how long is it going to last?
Well, I think the Kerry statements are a perfect example. I mean, this is what we've come to expect from Democrats. People are calling it a distraction today, but the fact is that if Kerry misspoke or if he made a joke, the unfortunate thing for him is that he has a history of misspeaking about the troops when he compared them to Genghis Khan in Vietnam and when he talked about how they terrorized women and children in Iraq last year in 2005. So he's got a serious problem here, and it's not a distraction, it's a reflection on what we've come to expect from Democrats, which is at best an unseriousness about national security, and at worst, it seems maybe a contempt for those who provide it for us.
Well, Margie, did John Kerry just lay this huge political egg a week before the election?
I think if the voters had to choose between a botched joke and botched policy, they would choose the botched joke every single time.
But a joke? How is it a joke? I don't know. He said we should mention, by the way, John Kerry did say that he was misunderstood, that he was leading it into a joke, but I don't understand where the joke was.
Well, I'll explain it to you. The botched joke is that people who are less well educated will end up getting what he was supposed to say, getting us into the situation in Iraq, referring to President Bush as the less well-educated person there, not the troops. It doesn't really make sense that he would insult troops when he himself served, as opposed to making fun of the president, which he clearly tangled with. So it's much more obvious to me.
Mary,
what
we should remember who had the higher grades at school. But what is the success of Kerry going to be? The more he tries to explain this, dig a deeper hole?
Well, I think he is. In fact, I think that if he had come out and owned up to it, said it was a botched joke, said it was a misstatement, and moved on and been contrite about it, I think we probably would have moved on sooner.
This all would have been very interesting if he was up for re-election, but the truth of the matter is the public is really more concerned about what's going on in Iraq, not gaffes and botched jokes.
But Margie, the problem is that there's no Democrat as of yet to stand up and say, this is the Democratic position. Kerry went probably further than that than most people, and unfortunately he botched the job.
Yeah, he made a mistake, and what he's doing is not owning up to it. He's calling somebody like Senator McCain a liar for having heard exactly the words that came out of Kerry's mouth, and this is just indicative of their attitude.
Margie, go ahead.
It's just a sign of what kind of disarray and what kind of electoral mess the Republicans are in, that they're seizing on, they're grasping at straws. They're looking at anything to maybe change the one mind of somebody somewhere, as opposed to the mass. But
Margie, let me stay with you for a second. Let me stay with you for a second. It does seem that a lot of what you hear from Democrats is not a solution for the problems in Iraq, but this defeatist talk saying we're bound to lose no matter what we try to do. Is that helpful going into a political campaign?
What you're hearing now, even the president is running away from his own catchphrase of stay the course. You have Republicans all over the country. This is not a Democratic issue of fleeing from Bush or saying we're going to lose. You have Republicans, you have James Baker, you have people all over the country saying, Republicans and Democrats saying, hey, I'm not sure if this is going right.
And Mary, it is true. There are some Republicans, including Senator Lindsey Graham, who's saying we're on the verge of chaos. So it's not just Democrats. Right. Some Republicans are saying the same thing.
Oh, Iraq is not an easy issue. I'm not saying that at all. The problem is that the Democrats' line of "we got nothing" is not a plan, and so voters are responding to that. And then you heap on the sort of borderline contempt that Kerry, which may or may not have been a mistake, but he hasn't owned up to it, and that causes a real problem for Democrats.
Gang, we got to leave it at that. Mary Catherine Ham, Margie Omero, great to see you both. Thanks very much. Well, no apology for the troops from Senator Kerry today, but plenty of attacks for the president. Take a look.
This administration has given us a Katrina.